Hello YouTubers, this is Rob with PrecisionLock.com. Today I'm back at the location of the customer of the old farmhouse, which if you watched in an earlier video I showed you how to remove the cylinder and how to turn and told you the proper way and showed you the proper way how to reverse the plug on this lock that was upside down eventually. So now we're going to rekey this lock to the customer specifications, and I'll show you how that's done. First we're going to do is we're going to remove the lock set, and we're going to do that by removing these two screws. We're going to slide the lock set out. We're going to remove the plug, and I'll show you how you do that once again. And we're going to rekey it. So stay tuned while I go ahead and I remove this lock, and I'll meet you back at my workstation. So stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I am at my workstation, and what we're going to do is we're going to rekey this lock. First of all, what we have to do is we have to remove the plug cylinder out of the lock. And the easiest way to do that is you get yourself one of these Kwikset removal tool. I actually showed all this on my previous video, but if you haven't watched it, this is our second time of showing you how to remove the plug from the lock. What you want to do is you want to stick the end of the tool into the hole right here, and you're going to turn it to the 12 o'clock position. You want to flip the lock upside down. You want to take this part of the tool and you're going to insert it in the lock right about here. And you're going to give it a little turn, and you're going to feel a little spring. See the spring action? What you're going to do is you put it in there, you put a little bit of spring pressure on there. You're going to remove you're going to go ahead and you're going to remove the I guess it's called the spline, the spleen of the lock. You're going to set that aside. You're going to take this end of the tool and you're going to insert it into the back of the lock, like so. Turn the lock upside down, give it a little tap, pops right on out. Take your tool out, put the spindle back in, the spleen spindle back into the lock, set it aside, and now what you have to do is turn the lock upside down. There is a clip which holds the plug in place. What you need to do is we have to remove that clip, and this is also a good thing for this tool to do. What you can go down here, and what you're going to do is put a little pressure on there, and you're going to take the other top, and you're going to remove the clip from the tool, from the back of the lock. Very simple. Looks like this. We'll set it aside. Don't lose it. And, in this case, you would need a working key. Unfortunately, this customer lost their key. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to either shim the lock open, or we can pick it. Since I'm already at my workstation and I don't have my picks with me at the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shim the lock open. So you get an extra bonus with this video today. I'm going to shim the lock open, and I'll show you how to do that. You need a shim, which I have. This is a shim. It's a very thin piece of aluminum, well, I won't say aluminum, but stainless steel maybe. What you do is you take it and you insert it into the back of the plug. And what you want to do is we're going to put the pins at the shear line, and we're going to try to pick the lock or shim the lock open. what we'll need is a key blank. We'll just use this one. This is at the 0 portion, but I think we can do it. And you'll slide your blank into the lock. You'll take your shim, slide in the back here. And what you're going to do is you want to move the key back and forth and try to slide the shim at the same time. About the quickest way to do things. And we're almost there. Oh, we're there. All right, so what you're going to do is you want to turn the plug. At this point you can go ahead and remove the shim. You'll take your plug follower, this is a plug follower, and what you're going to do is you're going to push the plug out of the lock. Like so. You want to set your plug aside. You want to look at your top of your your plug. You're going to dump it and make sure it's all cleared out inside. Normally, Kwikset locks, the pins inside are color coded. By chance, sometimes they're not, but most of your replacement pins are color coded. And it makes it a little bit easier to memorize color than numbers sometimes. But that's okay. So, you want to get the customer's key. And I have one here. And most of the time, you'll find a code on the back of the key. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll try to add a little bit more light to it. Hope you can see that. 62123 is the bidding for that lock. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pin it up to this key and see if it works. So key goes into the lock, right? And what's the first one? 6. So go to your Kwikset bomb pins, right? And you'll find yourself a 6. And you'll put it in there. You'll put the 6 in here. You're going to look at it. You're going to make sure that it's nice and smooth across the top, which it is. So that's a good pin. So put your finger over the pin, look to the side. 2. You got 2. So you're going to go to your second bottom pin, 2. Put it in there, and see it's in there. And then I think it was 1. Take your 1 and stick it in the bottom. All right. Cover it up. Then 2 and a 3. So go get another 2. Stick it in. And a number 3. And a number 3. And that is not a number 3. Sometimes your pens get mixed up, bumping around the vehicle. So you put number 3 in there. So, and that's what we're going to look at. You want to make sure you're going to look down. You're going to make sure that it's all nice and flush and even with the plug. In most cases, you want to lubricate the lock at this point, which I use this graphite lubricant. I do a little squeeze. I kind of went overboard a little bit. Right, so then we're going to reinsert the plug back into the cylinder. And by doing so, you're going to make sure that you know where your top of your pins are, which are located in this portion. So you want to make sure that you're on an angle. So the only thing you'll do is you'll put a little pressure on the plug as you're putting it back into the cylinder. And you'll give it a test. Nice and keyed up. Make sure you put your fingers a little at a time to remove the key from the plug, because you don't want the plug to fly out. Then you lose all your top pins too. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to snap in the clip. Remember the clip we removed? And make sure it's all in there good, all nice and flush. Make sure your key's working. And there you go. That's you know, your lock is nicely rekeyed to the customer's specification, and it's lubricated. So it's always a good thing to lubricate your lock. We always have a saying, locks love lubrication, and this is true. So what we're going to do is I'll meet you back at the customer's door, and I'll show you how to insert the plug back into the doorknob. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. We're now at the customer's door, and we're going to insert the plug that we just rekeyed into the lock set, which is you want it in the right position. What you're going to do is just give it a little push, and now it's back in place. So we want to test the key. We're going to lock the door. Insert the key that we just rekeyed into it. Works. It opens. Very good. And we'll go ahead and we'll test it to lock it. And it's locked. Unlocked. Tested. Good. Alright. And that is pretty much it. Let's talk about a little bit of cost that you could have made on this job. Usually a locksmith will charge a service call, and the price, either they will have an outright set price for the job that they're doing, or they'll charge you an hourly labor. I probably have been here probably less than a half hour. I have removed the plug from the door. I've rekeyed it, and I have reinstalled. So it's been less than a half hour. Okay. So depending on what you charge, I charge a service call. I'm a little bit different than some locksmiths. I'll charge a $125 service call, but I will not charge the customer any labor. So $125 for me to come here and spend some time on the job. I usually charge a $22.50 for a rekey, and which includes 2 keys for the customer, lock lubrication, any kind of adjustments that needs to be done to the latch or anything like that. So technically, you know, I'm making some pretty good jigging for the day. You know, 125 plus, you know, 22.50. That's almost $150 key. So here, half hour. So as far as cost, pens are on the pennies on the dollar. So I pretty much made in my pocket right around $150 today. So if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe to my link. And everybody have a wonderful day. Once again, my name is Rob, and I am with PrecisionLock.com. Thank you. Have a good day.